Galnet News Digest, 13th of October, 3306. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news roundup, demolition ethics questioned, Hudson's best buddy, the origin of apex travel, Empire denies drunken pilots. Demolition ethics questioned. Following the revelation that engineer Liz Ryder's Demolition Unlimited sold specially engineered weapons to terrorists, the legitimacy of an outfit that is allied to anarchist movement the Eurabia Blue Mafia, that sells modified missiles that are specifically designed to cause thrusters to be less effective and to make frameshift drives malfunction to prevent traders and weaker combatants from withdrawing, and that makes little attempt to prevent sales to known terrorists, has been called into question. Ryder has completed work for galactic governments in the past, including research into anti-Thargoid weapons on behalf of Aegis. But essentially, Ryder designs bombs that fit on the top of rockets of various sizes and capabilities, and while it's true that it is not bombs that kill people, it is people that kill people. Having large numbers of Ryder-supplied bombs sloshing around the supply chain certainly makes the people killing a lot less arduous for the modern terrorist. They have said that they no longer want to detain her, but perhaps the Empire was right to hunt Ryder, the loose missile, down. Hudson's best buddy. With the news that Admiral Vincent has been arrested, charged with treason and mass murder for arranging the destruction of Starship One, it's perhaps worth looking back briefly at the history of Admiral Vincent. It was Vincent who carpet-bombed the Onion Head fields of Kappa Pharnacis in 3300 and 3301 without consulting then-President Jasmina Halsey, damaging her political credibility. In a carefully worded statement at the time, Halsey clarified that Vincent had acted without consulting her, and that he was acting within his rights not to consult her. It was abundantly clear that Halsey detested Vincent and that Vincent had little regard for his president. It was also abundantly clear that Vincent remained a close friend of Shadow President Hudson. Vincent's aides travelled with the Shadow President, providing assistance and credibility to the opposition politician, and then, conveniently, allegedly following an intervention by Admiral Vincent, the presidential flight was lost. President Halsey was believed dead, and Hudson was given an easy path to take over the top job in the Federation. If Admiral Vincent attempted to murder President Halsey, it can only have been to benefit Shadow President Hudson. Now, the big question is, did Hudson know about the plot? If he did, his future as president must surely be placed in doubt. The origin of apex travel. Apex Travel, the Interplanetary and Interstellar Travel Agency, was founded on the 12th of October 2020, when British entrepreneur David Braben communicated with South African visionary and fruitcake Elon Musk using Twitter, an early predecessor of the short blogging service GalTweet. Braben's tweet, preserved in the Federal Library of Congress in Olympus Village on Mars, says simply, "Hi, I'd love to talk to you about something." What Braben was talking about was renting passage for commanders on Musk's interplanetary rockets, the predecessors of spaceships. Conditions were cramped and the journey was often one-way and or fatal, but it formed the first little step towards the service we will be reintroduced to at the beginning of 3307. Empire denies drunken pilots. Leaders of imperial forces working to subdue the Marlinist movement in Aguada have strenuously denied that leftover brandy from the lying-in state of Prince Harold Duval is impacting the fighting effectiveness of its pilots. Millions of cases of the rare brandy were delivered to Baal for onward transmission to capital. It's rumoured that Prince Harold's body was pickled in brandy before it was laid to rest in the Hall of Martyrs. It's what he would have wanted, apparently. What happened to the millions of tons left over, though? Rumour has it that every pilot in the Imperial Navy was given a ration of 20 tons of the stuff on the understanding that they'd have a small tot every evening with their cocoa and would make it last a good long while. Reports from Aguada that the fleet's flagship, the Glorious Destiny, has sustained damage from repeatedly being rammed by incapacitated Imperial pilots have been dismissed as vile propaganda on behalf of the evil democratic forces of Marlinism. Forces for stability and order in the Empire are firmly in control in Aguada, and the evil Democrats of the Dudu Seckless Empire League can expect very little mercy following their insolence in opposing the forces of justice. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to. And the BGS is not broken anymore.